Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fitness Beast YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking specifically about blood sugar levels, how to control them, and yes, its relation to fitness or being overweight or otherwise. So first, just to basically go over like the ranges of blood sugars. So you can go into hypoglycemic or hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. One's low, hypo; one's high, hyper. Now, I was supposed to videotape this, I think on Wednesday, but I didn't, and I'm going to go into why and how it relates to blood sugar. So, during the night, my blood sugar crashed. I ended up finally becoming more conscious and able to kind of steady myself at around 2, which is very, very low. Normal is between 4 and 7. So, your your range of play with your blood sugar on the low end of things is much lower than when you're high. So what happened was that I fully became more conscious and able to function normally when I was around 2.5 in the end. So between whatever I was up until 2.5, I was incomprehensible. I was very aggressive, very defensive, very, very stubborn. It tends to amplify otherwise normal behaviors in your everyday life. And very confrontational, like extremely. So my fiance, who was helping me deal with it, it was very difficult for me to get me to take my blood sugar. It was very difficult to get me to eat sugar. And one of the things that your body does in these cases, it actually activates like your adrenal gland and whatnot to get you enough energy, or to get you enough whatever in this case, in order to kind of be functional. Now, in that time, because it's very difficult for a non-diabetic to know how to deal with someone in these cases, taking the right amount of sugar in order to bring you up to a proper level is very, very difficult. Generally speaking, they recommend about 30 grams of sugar or carbohydrates, because that equates to sugar essentially. But when you're low, you need a combination of two things. First, you need very fast acting sugar to boost your blood sugar level in order to get you stable enough as soon as possible. But at the same time, you don't want to take too much sugar so it spikes you in the opposite direction. However, no, however, in a case like that, however, what I'm going to say is that it's important to eat sugar, sure, but also include things like fat and protein so it stabilizes the rate at which your blood sugar rises, in order to make it, first off, a lot smoother so you don't just spike up, so it's a slow increase of sugar. But it also gives you the time to adapt yourself to become conscious, fully conscious again, and so to be able to handle yourself better. Now, the thing that's extremely important you have to realize is that when you're dealing with a diabetic who's in a hypoglycemic state, they can become very violent, very agitated. Even for me, I tend to be yes, I like confrontation, yes, I like debating, I like arguing and whatnot. But even in my case, and I have a recording of this that's not safe for YouTube, because my fiance just tried to show me to see what I looked like. It's you react in a very, very different way. When I was watching myself, for example, hopefully one day I'll get a video that I'll be able to show you guys, but when I was watching myself, it didn't seem how I would normally react in general. It was just very, again, extremely defensive and very, very reactionary, for lack of a better term again. So going from that state to a stable blood sugar, or maintaining a stable blood sugar, is extremely important, and it all boils down to food. Okay. Now, what happened to me on Wednesday was, not only did I start at that really low, blood sugar, but after taking all that sugar, it ended up spiking me into hyperglycemia, which is the opposite of being low. It's when you have a lot too much sugar in your system, and not enough insulin is actually passing through you in order to take that sugar and give it to your body, whether as fat, as fuel for your cells, or just to help you function. So on the other end of the spectrum rather, I ended up being very lethargic. When you have all that sugar going through your system and you don't have any insulin taking it out for you, you become extremely low, in the sense of you have no energy, it's hard to get moving, it's hard to get anything started, and you become just as irritable, but in a very different way. I become very cranky. I don't like talking to anybody as much. Though I'm fully conscious, I'm just in a bad mood. And it's completely unbeknownst to me. Like, there's nothing I can do unless I manage my blood sugar in order to stabilize that. Now, not only is having a high blood sugar exhausting for the system, but the simple act of going from really high to really low or vice versa, in and of itself exhausts me. I have to do a bit more research on that if that's a normal thing for all diabetics, but I know for me it's exhausting first. So my Wednesday ended up being a complete waste because I didn't have the energy to do anything. Now I'm going to get to the whole being fat versus being in a healthy weight and all this kind of thing, and how it affects your blood sugar specifically. Now, this whole idea of fat as healthy is completely wrong. And this is just from a diabetic perspective, okay? So having fat or adipose tissue within your body as well is extremely bad for insulin sensitivity. First off, because of the substance that fat is made out of, it's just, yes, it's an energy source, but at the same time, it's not something that your body can easily pass hormones or chemicals or anything through. It's like a wall of jelly, effectively. Like nothing goes through, neither cold nor hormones. So it increases your insulin resistance simply because the fat doesn't allow insulin to get to your cells, to get to the important places in your body in order to where it needs to get to in order to make you function. Remember, like I said, it's responsible for transporting sugar to your cells, it's responsible for helping you transport protein to your muscles, and it's responsible for maintaining your overall health and, of course, transferring any excess sugar you might have eaten into fat for later use, for storage. Now, having that increased insulin kind of resistance because of the excess fat has a kind of double effect as well. Not only are you automatically resisting more insulin because you're just fatter, but because you have to take more insulin in order to get the same results that you would otherwise have for less, that builds up your resistance even more to it. So as a non-diabetic, as a type 1 or a type 2, it doesn't matter. The heavier you are, the more out of shape you are, the more fat you're accumulating on your body, means the more resistance to insulin, that one vital hormone, it takes to lose weight, build muscle, fuel your cells and everything. And it's a snowball effect, right? So that's why, for example, even me, when I was really overweight, I'd be an emotional roller coaster. I'd be in bad moods a lot of times, very emotional, tears, anger, all this kind of stuff. Mainly because my hormone levels were thrown completely out of whack because of the excess fat I carried on my body. Now, not only does that excess fat come with a whole slew of things that affect your insulin, however, fat in and of itself in the body produces more estrogen. So as a male, generally speaking, my testosterone levels tend to be higher than my estrogen levels. Like, listen, I don't know the exact specifics of how much they're supposed to be in my body, but being male, we produce much more testosterone than estrogen on the other side. So if we have a lot of fat, it not only makes your body produce more estrogen, but that counteracts the testosterone effect of producing that in your body. And as a male, not healthy. As a woman, again, I'm not 100% on the whole idea of how estrogen and testosterone function in the body. Not yet. I have more research to do, but it has the same effect, but possibly to a lesser degree, I'm not sure, but it still affects the normal hormonal functions within your body. So no, being fat is not healthy. But anyway, getting away from that, going back to insulin. Insulin is extremely important as a diabetic to maintain, and the best way to do that is to have a stable diet. Like, it's imperative that they always say with fitness everything starts with nutrition, and this is true because it not only helps your body function on a normal day-to-day basis, but it allows your body to function in an optimal state where your mood is stabilized, your ability to perform physically is stabilized, your ability to perform mentally is stabilized, and everything is functioning at an optimal at an optimal level in order to keep your body functioning properly. Now, along with that, when that relates to fitness, keeping a good fitness lifestyle is a great way to keep your blood sugar stable and everything like that, because it helps you burn the glycogen in your muscles, it helps you kind of get your bodily systems revved up and going properly, and it helps maintain an overall functioning metabolic state, which is directly related to insulin levels, blood sugar levels, and hormonal levels. And again, remember, when it comes to highs and lows, it's very important to maintain that stable blood sugar, not just for the end results of working out and whatever kind of fitness goals you have and you want to achieve, but just overall to maintain a sane, healthy, and well, you know, normal day-to-day lifestyle, regardless of how you choose to live. Anyway, video's long enough for the moment. So again, if you like this video, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Everything counts for me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All right, have a nice day.